If I was the Lakers, I would probably be targeting the Memphis Grizzlies as a trade partner
for
Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, that'd be a great fit.
I would.
For whom?
Well, that's the thing, because you got to figure out the package. But this comes with
Austin Reaves.
This comes with a very unemotional attachment because Austin is beloved, which he should be.
But he's about to get paid.
He's an underdog. And here's the thing: if there's a world where you can do what's best for your team and do what's best for Austin, because Austin deserves to get paid. Right now, I love him as a Laker, but if that is a situation where we get in balance, because if you put all the money into just the backcourt, and then you're kind of like your flexibility is restricted going forward to fill out the rest of the team, then that's kind of like riding when you just have the training wheels on your bike, but the one training wheel is off and it kind of leans. That's kind of like that.
Now, the clip that you just saw in front of you was the most famous agent in the NBA at the current moment, Rich Paul. Technically, one of the most famous agents across all of American sports because, again, he has a large roster of players under him. The most famous ones that we know in the NBA being the likes of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, Darius Garland, Draymond Green, just to name a few. And with clientele like that, Rich manages to have a stronghold whereby organizations, they don't listen to him, whereby they take his decisions and that's all they're going to do. But it's something whereby he has an influence within organizations that you might not see it a lot, but you know it plays a role here and there. So when we hear him make statements like this, we think to ourselves, may this actually happen? And the other thing about it is with LeBron being his main client and everyone knowing the GM, the other suspicion is this something LeBron James brought up with Rich Paul? Now, these statements by Rich Paul have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, mainly because people are looking at it from a perspective of Austin Reaves' career season. I mean, the boy's averaging 26.6 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 6.3 assists, shooting about 51% from the field, 36.5% from three, and 87.3% from the free throw line, which are career highs for him everywhere except for the free throw line and the three-point percentage, which are slightly dipped from his best shooting seasons. But again, he's taking a lot more shots this year than he ever did. So on a season like that, if he was a superstar player on a different team, you'd automatically say, give him the max contract, pay him everything he wants. Because again, it's a contract season. You'd want to keep this guy on your team. Now, Rich isn't crazy when he says that the Lakers need to consider the option of trading Austin Reaves. And I agree with him that it should be an option because if you're the Lakers, looking at the current roster that you have, you only have three players that technically could be used as trade capital in any sort of situation, in Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, and LeBron James, because everybody else on the roster, no cruelty, you're never going to trade them for a superstar player unless you throw them in there with a bunch of picks and basically pick up some expiring contracts as part of the deal. So with those three being the only option, you only have one decision. When it comes to Luka, you said he's the future of the team. You can never trade him away because, again, that's your guy. In which case, you want to keep him happy, so you're going to keep him on the team. Because, again, this season he's averaging just over 33 points and 8.7 assists on the season. So he's the guy who you know will lead you to the future. And then in regards to LeBron James, unfortunately, we're about 4 years too late for them to really be able to manage to get trade capital out of LeBron. Because no matter who LeBron goes to, he's a 40-plus-year-old man. The ideal will be, at most, you have him for 2 more seasons. So why even trade a young superstar for him if you know you're not going to have him for that long? Now, the reason Rich Paul elected to mention Jaren Jackson Jr. is because anyone who's watched the Lakers play this year has known they have a lot of weaknesses when it comes to the interior. Because the Lakers rank horribly when it comes to stats such as steals, assists, field goal percentage, three-point percentage. The Lakers rank horribly in a lot of stuff, but the worst thing about them is they rank horribly when it comes to defending the rim and rebounding. Now, this offseason, they did try to assign their little issues when it comes to big men by signing DeAndre Ayton to a nice, lucrative contract in his favor. But the issue with it is they're not getting the return they expected, as despite DeAndre Ayton averaging about 13.7 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 0.8 assists with 68% from the field, He's currently ranked 17th when it comes to rebounding amongst big men, and the biggest flaw in his game is the fact that he averages 1 block a game throughout the season, indicating that as much as he's trying to protect the rim, he's not doing that great of a job of it. So the next best thing for the Lakers, if they wanted to address this issue, would be to grab another big man, and better yet, possibly grab a 4-man, because currently they have LeBron James playing the 4, and as I said, he's 40 plus years old. The main reason for moving him to the 4 is we know LeBron can easily crash the glass and do everything you need to from him in that situation, and he can also generally help when it comes to boxing out on boards. But he's not exactly a guy you have on your team to protect the rim, because again, just like DeAndre Ayton, he's averaging about 0.7 blocks on the year, which is not what you want from your rim protector. So in the best situation of situations, if I was the Lakers, or as the Lakers see it, your perspective is you have to go for Jaren Jackson Jr. just because the only other free guys you can go for in regards to the trade market at this point are Giannis Antetokounmpo, who obviously, if the Bucks are trading for him with the Lakers, they're going to want Luka Doncic. Either that or it's Austin Reaves and way too much draft capital that the Lakers don't have. And then there's Anthony Davis, who the Lakers famously traded away to Dallas for Luka Doncic, and I assume they will not want back just because there's an emphasis of he's injury prone to high heck. And then there's Domantas Sabonis, who his issue is he doesn't fit the team because he is a high usage guy on the offensive side of the ball, but when it comes to playing defense, we all know he's somewhat of a liability. And as mentioned before, with the Lakers playing in the Western Conference, that means for them to make it to the NBA Finals, they would have to go through some teams that really are are really stacked when it comes to the big man position. So let's start off with the number 1 seed in the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have the duo of Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein, who will easily outwork the Lakers on the interior. Now, obviously, they're not the greatest duo in the world, but again, that's a scary enough pairing. When you look at the San Antonio Spurs, you've got Victor Wembanyama, and then when you look at the Denver Nuggets, you have to go up against Nikola Jokic. The Houston Rockets, you have to go up against Alperen Şengün. Basically, to go through the West, you need a big man that can protect the rim. And I won't say great, as really good as DeAndre Ayton is, he will never be that guy. So in this situation, I have to agree with Rich Paul. Trading Austin Reaves for Jaren Jackson Jr. is the best thing the Lakers could do at this moment, just because Jaren Jackson Jr. allows you a lot of interior support because he's won a DPOY. We know the main emphasis of his game is, even though he scores buckets here and there, he protects the rim the best he can. Now, he's not the best rebounding power forward in the league because obviously he does average about 5.7 rebounds, but he allows you to get 1.5 blocks per game, and he allows a lot of rim pressure whereby teams will not necessarily just take it to the rim as easily as they have been to the Lakers right now, because defensively they have a lot of inconsistencies. Generally, as I said, when it comes to protecting the rim, they're bad at that, and they usually find themselves in situations whereby the current construction of the roster is top heavy when it comes to the guards, because again, Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves provide you about 60 points a game with ease, but then when it comes to the big man position where your more emphasis should be rebounding and generally blocking at the rim, they're lacking. So Rich Paul isn't crazy when he says it. The Lakers need to trade Austin Reaves for Jaren Jackson Jr. Will the trade happen? Most likely not, just because we know the Lakers, they try to save face, no cruelty to Jeannie Buss and the Buss family, but they save face in situations like this where they'll end up paying someone and basically keeping a contract on even though they know they shouldn't. We've seen them do it many times before. But hey, I just wanted to let you know, I agree with Rich Paul. Austin Reaves might need to go. But the question is, what do you think the Lakers need to do if they want to improve this season? Do you really believe trading Austin Reaves will fix all of their issues and manage to put them in a position to basically compete in the playoffs? In my personal opinion, if they trade Austin Reaves, there's a strong chance they can make it to the conference finals, just because as scary as everyone believes OKC is, they are really setting themselves up for an upset. And then when it comes to all the other teams, the only other team you could really have to fear would be the San Antonio Spurs, because Victor Wembanyama is playing at a level whereby you really do have to consider him. And obviously the one other guy, Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets. No matter who you are, you always have to fear that man because he's the greatest player in the world right now. So yeah, down below in the comment section, let me know, what do you think the Lakers need to do if they really want to make a push in these playoffs this year? Because again, you've got 2 more years coming out of LeBron, in which case, if you want to win, you're in a win-now situation. You're in the same sort of situation you were in when you traded Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, and a bunch of those young guys, because again, you want to win. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so yet, do me a favor, go and hit that subscribe button and turn post notifications on. And down below, if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, hit that like button. Otherwise, if you didn't, hit that dislike button, just because I need to know. Do you enjoy it? Do you not? But I wish Austin Reaves nothing but the best. He should be returning really soon because he's currently been out for a bunch of games. And hey, who knows? maybe the Lakers push past this and maintaining the lineup of Austin Reaves and Luka Doncic somehow manage to sneak themselves into the conference finals and luckily get into the finals. But yeah, it's been your boy Alvin Mike from L.T.A. I'll catch you in a bit. Deuces.